in this podcast have a lot of conversations with people around AI and how AI is affecting, industries. How is AI affecting scientists and science industries? I mean, I guess you're using technology, and you've always used technology as much as you can, but is there, there's a lot of industries that are like, oh, we're not going to be here in 5 or 10 years because AI is going to take our jobs. So how much of AI is helpful to you? And does it seem a little bit more like, well, actually we need people, like we need thinkers to be creatively thinking about things that we can do. So is it an industry? What do you think about that?
I think AI can really help science, and it's been evident in science for a long time. It is a really good tool to help scientists analyze big things of data. It can't replace scientists because it can't hold a pipette and it can't hold a microscope, and it can't do a lot of the technical skills which are needed by scientists. And there are technically AI programs that do some of those skills, but you still need people to direct and understand what's actually happening. A lot of AI in science lacks the ability to critically think and think around problems and through problems, whereas AI is quite obviously binary, where it's one problem or it's either a yes or a no or 1 or a 0. Whereas science we like to think of as binary, but it's really not. There's a lot of problem solving and critical thinking that happens in the meantime to actually try to solve problems, and problems are quite often non-binary. There are many different levels to them that can't be solved through AI, and developing ideas and creating ideas is something that is evolving in science, or ever evolving in science, and I don't think IA would be able to replace AI. But it definitely is a tool for scientists to help them be more productive and able to address key issues or key data sets.
Awesome. If there was a kid in school who was thinking maybe they're going through their HSC or they're trying to pick what subjects they want to do at school, what would you tell them is the best thing about being a scientist? And did you think that, because I feel like my memory of you, apart from when you were 4 and you wanted to be a fire engine, was more that you wanted to get into medicine. And then when you kind of went down that track and discovered research, you discovered that you loved research. Like, what's your thought process around that? And if you were to tell somebody in school about this is a super interesting path, because really it's what we need in the world, is things that are physically going to change us and help us live longer and more comfortable and happier lives. That's really a lot of what we want to do. What's your thoughts on that?
Science or research is interesting, and I found it more interesting than medicine, whereas when I discovered research, it is kind of what I thought medicine would be, but this is at the heart of it. And what we do a lot of is the groundwork of what gets implemented in medicine anyway. So people develop medicines, or they develop new techniques, or they develop new understandings of physiological systems. And a lot of that happens in a lab with research. And some people who do that are medical professionals. And a lot of people who do that are just researchers who dedicate their whole careers to research. What I love about it is the ability to come up with different ideas and problem solve and live in this world, or live in this environment where things change constantly, and there's always a new way to tackle it, and you can come up with new ways to figure out or problem solve yourself. And it's not always so, as I said before, it's not binary, it's not a yes or no, it's how can I make this better in as many ways as possible. And it is really the foundation of what medicine is, and science research expands far beyond medicine. But in my initial understanding of wanting to do medicine and finding research and thinking, oh no, research is what my passion was, is a far more exciting route for me than what medicine would have been.
When I think about the creative part of that story you just told, I think about the time that you're at home building a contraption out of Lego with little pieces of leather to hold something in the studio. And so I guess it's super important to have that creativity
Yeah.
thrown in there as well. So what's next for you after your PhD? What's your dream job? What's your goal?
My dream job is to stay in research and academia. However, as mentioned before, there's not a lot of funding, which means there's very limited roles in the field. But staying in a research role, whether that's in academia or if that's in private research or industry, as we call it, that would be really cool. And staying in this field where you can come up with new ideas and test new hypotheses and try and make in different ways through new ideas and testing would be really fun.
I want to just ask another little question, because we touched super quickly on resilience and, you know, the things that impacted you as you were growing up. But tell me a little bit about, you know, because you can say, oh, to get things done, you just need to decide that it needs to be done and then you just need to get it done. So it seems like when you say that, that's an easy thing. A lot of people know that they have to do stuff, but they procrastinate or they don't get around to it or they don't think about it. I'm interested in what you think about is the best way to tell yourself to not procrastinate, to get something done. Like, what is it? And can you link that back to, you know, what's the kind of neuroscience pathways that set up whatever it is that seems intrinsic to me in you, that you've always woken up at the same time and you've always done the same things after that. Like, are you born that way, or is that part of what you learned to get through?
I think there's multiple aspects to that, where you have nature and nurture, whether you are born in a certain way and can just have a drive to get up, but there's probably also how you're brought up and what was your goal, how are you motivated to do stuff. I don't necessarily have a tip. I just decide to do something and do it. I still procrastinate from different things. And for me, the goal of getting more work done in my field, or the goal of, you know, running or exercise and achieving a certain result is makes me get up at 5 a.m. or makes me get up and do work and sit down. But at the same time, I also have things that I don't want to do, like cleaning the house and doing the washing, and I'll procrastinate from those by doing the things I want to do, which is working towards a research goal or a athletic goal when I was younger. I don't really know the psychological neuroscience components behind that, but there is a lot of research, and I know some good researchers who look into goal-driven behaviors, and it's quite complex, and you can definitely train yourself or how you are goal mediated, but it can be hard if you've already taught yourself several factors, or, you know, you've already developed a way that you want to pursue success. So if you've already developed procrastination skills from getting jobs done, and that's an anxiety response, then it can be hard to break them. But it's definitely possible to change it if you can change how you're driven, or you come up with different goals.